On the ball, cause really I feel I'm really too raw. And that should be all, how some bitches be real and these niggas be flawed. Can't understand, cause I live by the code, I don't live by the law. Nigga don't dance, but I keep me a pool, I'm more realer than y'all. Stuck in my ways, so fuck how you feel, I'm living my life, I do what I want. I keep me some place, know what I feel, not finna lie, nigga been out. Niggas die every day, but I'm in the field until it's my time, then I'ma go. I'm finna shine and fuck on these hoes, I'm finna grind and sun on my votes. Keeping my K, keeping it G, turning my L's into 2B's. I'm minimum wage, but I'm getting paid. Turning myself, that's a new piece. Niggas could play, but I'ma do me. By myself, that's a movie. Papa too well, I'm bucking the sleeve. If you wanna do well, come hustle with me. Fuck all the fame, no different than y'all. Still run the game just to get in the draw. Yeah, you know some people think I'm a star, but I still keep the thing and the stick in the car. Still with the gang and the shit, still with the bang and the clips, still with the drink and the twist. Niggas be sticking and all. The knowledge I gain, shit I be kicking to y'all. Niggas be jigging the spot. Niggas be talking to bitches, be looking a lot. Niggas be cooking the plot. When you see me all up in them books, then I'm looking for guap. No one can say that they took what I got. Go in the safe and just look at the knots. Show on the way, put the hood on the top. Glow on her face when she look at the watch. Take it slow on the road, we got some shit in the car. Make you a million tomorrow. Blowing the dope, we got some shit in the car. Make you a villain of law. Most of my niggas is criminals, dog. But all of my niggas is realer than y'all. Fuck how you feel, we don't feel it at all. Word on the street, been getting it out. And I'm from the ball, cause really I feel I'm really too raw. And that should be all, how some bitches be real and these niggas be flawed. Can't understand, cause I live by the code, I don't live by the law. Nigga don't dance, but I keep me a pool, I'm more realer than y'all. You stuck in my ways, so fuck how you feel, I'm living my life, I do what I want. I keep me some place, know what I feel, not finna lie, nigga been out. Niggas die every day, but I'm in the field until it's my time, then I'ma go. I'm finna shine and fuck on these hoes, I'm finna grind and sun on my votes. Keeping my K, keeping it G, turning my L's into 2B's. I'm minimum wage, but I'm getting paid. Turning myself, that's a new piece. Niggas could play, but I'ma do me. By myself, that's a movie. Papa too well, I'm bucking the sleeve. If you wanna do well, come hustle with me. And I'm from the ball, cause really I feel I'm really too raw. And that should be all, how some bitches be real and these niggas be flawed. Can't understand, cause I live by the code, I don't live by the law. Nigga don't dance, but I keep me a pool, I'm more realer than y'all. You stuck in my ways, so fuck how you feel, I'm living my life, I do what I want. I keep me some place, know what I feel, not finna lie, nigga been out. Niggas die every day, but I'm in the field until it's my time, then I'ma go. I'm finna shine and fuck on these hoes, I'm finna grind and sun on my votes. Keeping my K, keeping it G, turning my L's into 2B's. I'm minimum wage, but I'm getting paid. Turning myself, that's a new piece. Niggas could play, but I'ma do me. By myself, that's a movie. Papa too well, I'm bucking the sleeve. If you wanna do well, come hustle with me. Fuck all the fame, no different than y'all. Still run the game just to get in the draw. Yeah, you know some people think I'm a star, but I still keep the thing and the stick in the car. Still with the gang and the shit, still with the bang and the clips, still with the drink and the twist. Niggas be sticking and all. The knowledge I gain, shit I be kicking to y'all. Niggas be jigging the spot. Niggas be talking to bitches, be looking a lot. Niggas be cooking the plot. When you see me all up in them books, then I'm looking for guap. No one can say that they took what I got. Go in the safe and just look at the knots. Show on the way, put the hood on the top. Glow on her face when she look at the watch. Take it slow on the road, we got some shit in the car. Make you a million tomorrow. Blowing the dope, we got some shit in the car. Make you a villain of law. Most of my niggas is criminals, dog. But all of my niggas is realer than y'all. Fuck how you feel, we don't feel it at all. Word on the street, been getting it out. And I'm from the ball, cause really I feel I'm really too raw. And that should be all, how some bitches be real and these niggas be flawed. Can't understand, cause I live by the code, I don't live by the law. Nigga don't dance, but I keep me a pool, I'm more realer than y'all. You stuck in my ways, so fuck how you feel, I'm living my life, I do what I want. I keep me some place, know what I feel, not finna lie, nigga been out. Niggas die every day, but I'm in the field until it's my time, then I'ma go. I'm finna shine and fuck on these hoes, I'm finna grind and sun on my votes. Keeping my K, keeping it G, turning my L's into 2B's. I'm minimum wage, but I'm getting paid. Turning myself, that's a new piece. Niggas could play, but I'ma do me. By myself, that's a movie. Papa too well, I'm bucking the sleeve. If you wanna do well, come hustle with me. And I'm finna ball, cause really I feel I'm really too raw. And that should be all, how some bitches be real and these niggas be flawed. Can't understand, cause I live by the code, I don't live by the law. Nigga don't dance, but I keep me a pole, I'm more realer than y'all. Stuck in my ways, so fuck how you.
I got mouths to feed, family overseas, my kids got them needs, this money don't grow on trees,
See, I got so much mouth to feed, that's why I'm chasing money. I'm the one that they look up to, so I hustle hold it. That's why my attitude like fuck you, ain't no favors for free. And I ain't taking no more losses, money don't grow on trees.
Struggle done made me exhausted. I cannot take no more losses. Can't let a fuck nigga cross me. I'm a fucker running off him. I've been stabbed in the back by the ones I love. No, I done lost a good girl fucking with the wrong. I done made money on money, I still can't hide my pain. I've been popping them perkies, I'm about to go insane. I done made me a million, niggas still ain't changed. I put a check on your head, I bet I get you flame. I got mouths to feed. Family overseas, my kids got them needs, this money don't grow on trees,
See, I got so much mouth to feed, that's why I'm chasing money. I'm the one that they look up to, so I hustle hold it. That's why my attitude like fuck you, ain't no favors for free. And I ain't taking no more losses, money don't grow on trees. This for my little ones, y'all, this for my peoples, and they got needs and wants, so they the reason for all of the schemes and all of the P's and O's. All of the chances I take, all of the bands in the safe, come from the hands that I shake. I'ma keep feeding the plug for all of the people I hug and to be the people I went broken bitches, I was fucking skated on me. And most of them niggas I show love to end up hating on me. So now it's family or nothing, that's the way it's gonna be. I kill and die if you ever try to come and take some from me.
I got mouths to feed, family overseas, my kids got them needs, this money don't grow on trees,
See, I got so much mouth to feed, that's why I'm chasing money. I'm the one that they look up to, so I hustle hold it. That's why my attitude like fuck you, ain't no favors for free. And I ain't taking no more losses, money don't grow on trees.
I get straight to the money, don't do no talking. Cause I went through a phase, they thought I lost it. Niggas done told me I wouldn't be nothing. By 2020, I'll make them see something. Clear vision. I'll get it on my own, nigga, I don't need nothing. And it better be you if you wanna be something. I'm on my own time, I'm on my way. I'll be there in no time, come hold my way. I bow my head and I close my eyes. I got my gun on me when I close my eyes. A lot of these fraud niggas won't take my life. Ay. A lot of these cops trying to take my life.
I got mouths to feed, family overseas, my kids got them needs, this money don't grow on trees,
See, I got so much mouth to feed, that's why I'm chasing money. I'm the one that they look up to, so I hustle hold it. That's why my attitude like fuck you, ain't no favors for free. And I ain't taking no more losses, money don't grow on trees.
Mike was muted. Got you. Hey, bloopers, got him. Hey, y'all stay tuned. Stay tuned. We will be with you in a moment. Just sit back, relax. We got a nice little show for y'all. Y'all know what it is. Coach Pat, Coach Darren, if you on here. Hopefully Isaiah and so many more. But stay tuned. We'll be right with you, all right?
I got mouths to feed. Family overseas. My kids got them needs. This money don't grow on trees.
See, I got so much mouth to feed, that's why I'm chasing money. I'm the one that they look up to, so I hustle hoodie. That's why my attitude like fuck you, ain't no favors for free. And I ain't taking no more losses, money don't grow on trees.
Struggle to make me exhausted. I cannot take no more losses. Can't let a fuck nigga cross me. I'ma fuck around and off him. I've been stabbed in the back by the ones I love. No, I done lost a good girl fucking with the wrong. I done make money on money, I still can't hide my pain. I've been popping them perkies, I'm about to go insane. I done made me a million, niggas still ain't changed. I put a check on your head, I bet I get you flame. I got mouths to feed. Family overseas. My kids got them needs. This money don't grow on trees.
See, I got so much mouth to feed, that's why I'm chasing money. I'm the one that they look up to, so I hustle on it. That's why my attitude like fuck you, ain't no favors for free. And I ain't taking no more losses, money don't grow on trees. This for my little ones, y'all. This for my peoples, and they got needs and wants, so they the reason for all of the schemes and all of the P's and O's. All of the chances I take, all of the bands in the safe, come from the hands that I shake. I'ma keep feeding the plug for all of the people I hug and to be the people I went broken bitches, I was fucking skated on me. And most of them niggas I show love to end up hating on me. So now it's family or nothing, that's the way it's gonna be. I kill and die if you ever try to come and take some from me.
I got mouths to feed. Family overseas. My kids got them needs. This money don't grow on trees.
See, I got so much mouth to feed, that's why I'm chasing money. I'm the one that they look up to, so I hustle on it. That's why my attitude like fuck you, ain't no favors for free. And I ain't taking no more losses, money don't grow on trees.
I get straight to the money, don't do no talking. Cause I went through a phase, they thought I lost it. Niggas done told me I would.
Look what they putting on me when I was only doing all this shit to see it that we going. Guess I was wrong for trying to see it with my homies. I'm feeling wrong cause I G by my lonely. I'm by my lonely, just getting money. I'm putting on, but see somehow they say I'm phony. The love is gone and now somehow they hating on me. It hurt the most when it's somebody that should know me. It's just kinda wild to me. We was friends, now they can't get a smile from me. I gave her inch, they took so many miles from me. Without me mentioning how many miles I feed.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? You're muted. Unmute your mic, my boy. Unmute your mic.
Oh man, I had to take my Ray Charles off, man. I really had to take my Ray Charles off, man.
Hey, I can't see with them things. I don't know what you talk about, boy. Hello, but what's up, everybody? This is episode 1 of Football Heads. I am yours truly, Cool Ass Cat, and my brother, no other than
the D from the Seal, man. Y'all already know, man. Y'all know what Football Heads is.
Man, I got to give you a better intro than that, man. Hey, then the one, the only, Mr. Certified himself. I'm out here.
For real.
The Seal, Darian Green himself, man. But this show here is based around teams. We want to talk about teams. So we're gonna bring to you all types of score reports. What else you got? Darren, this came from your mind. Go ahead and tell them what we have in store for them today.
I think that Football Heads is centered around football because you crave football. You love football. I mean, you sitting up watching it on YouTube, you watching it on IG. You just watching it on the youth football level just to see these kids at their start level and remember where they came from, remembering their path. No matter if they end up in the NFL, college, or they end up working a 9 to 5, you just remember how great they were and their whole experiences. So I think that Football Heads for me is just traveling around the country and letting know who the top teams are, because I do the SEAL top 15 national rankings and also the top 10 regional rankings around the country.
Yes,
so it's only right that me and the crew and my partners, we travel around the world and cover all the youth and try to bring them the exposure that they need to go to the next level.
Hey man, I gotta get you a light or something. Put some shine on my boy. Good Lord.
I think that's the light above me like that. Hold on.
Hey man. Man, you good. But man, we got games of the week coming at you. We have scores coming at you. We got so much coming at you. But one more time, I'm gonna hit them with the intro.
Look what they putting on me when I was only doing all this shit to see it that we gon' eat. Guess I was wrong for trying to see it with my homies. I'm feeling wrong cause now I jib by my lonely. I'm by my lonely, just getting moany. I'm putting on but see somehow they say I'm phony. The love is gone and now somehow they hating on me. It hurt the most when it's somebody that should know me. It's kinda wild to me. We was friends, now they can't get a smile from me. I gave her inch, they took so many miles from me. Without me mentioning how many miles I feed.
Back on it. Now, D man, you want to just jump straight into where you want to start at?
I want to start off with preseason so far and where we come so far with preseason and some of the big matchups. Some of the big matchups that have taken place. We like a week late. You know. 1 minute, let me silence my phone. Whatever. I don't think people realize that I'm on live. But like I said, I want to get into the games of the week because I watched the game last night between the OG Ducks and Rampage, but that's gonna come second on the list of things we're talking about. I want to talk about the DEA and OG Ducks game. Listen,
12U last week.
12U game last week was the OG Ducks versus the DEA team. The OG Ducks were on a 27-game win streak, folks. They basically dominated football at the 11U level. They beat who is who. It didn't matter if you were from UIFL, YNC, AAU. They beat them. So the
27 games, though, bro.
Yeah, 27 games they won because they played so many games.
Who was their last loss, if you don't mind me asking?
To be honest, I can't even go back that far to know exactly because honestly, they came out of nowhere. 12U, that team was just put together at the right time for the right moment. So just looking at them, I picked the OG Ducks because I saw how they bullied within the trenches. I underestimated DEA. I underestimated Neiman Page. Neiman Page is considered a R&R top 100, top 5 player. He was our number 1 inside linebacker.
Yes, sir.
He was phenomenal 12U, so he's playing 12U again. I just had this conversation with Courtney Jackson online about this kid, Neiman Page. Neiman Page is so phenomenal, folks. Like he made the difference in that OG Ducks game.
One word. Instinct. And that young man plays with a motor and an instinct that is before his time. He's playing like a grown man playing against young boys.
It showed. Like even the misdirection plays that the Ducks were able to fool him on, he still made up and made plays. He was out there playing like he was playing with little boys. I mean, they try to play him at running back, but he's instinctively a defensive player. He plays with that edge. And I'm not gonna lie, some of the officiating was fishy in Texas. I'm not saying that's the reason why they beat them. They basically physically pounded the OG Ducks into submission. Like the OG Ducks didn't lay down, but that 4th and 9 play with a couple of seconds left and they ran the ball. Oh man!
So who would be your player of the game if we were talking about that game in particular?
I have three players of the game. Aiden Gaines. He was one of the player of the games when they beat RDU the day before because he returned the kickoff. He returned another one against the OG Ducks who tried to squib kick it and he picked it up and took it to the crib.
Which number does he wear?
Aiden Gaines is number 3, and Jeremiah Johnson, formerly of Pac Prime,
Big dog.
Big physical back. When
Big
they made the choice to hand the ball off to him and not let them direct snap and run to it, once he picked up a head of steam, nobody trying to tackle that big country boy. Everything bigger in Texas, and it showed. He broke a run on them, and every time I thought the Ducks would control the game or go ahead, something happened. And then it was flukish stuff happened. Like, again, you playing by YNC rules, which is crazy to me. NCAA rules. Those 2 points meant a lot. OG Ducks got through an interception on a 2-point conversion, and the kid ran it back. That was 2 points for DEA, and that made the game kind of off then. But make no mistake, DEA dominated that game. And if we talking about early season number ones, DEA dominated Maryland Heat. They beat the RDU straight ahead. Concern with DEA is offensively. They're one-dimensional. Their passing game is kind of off. Like, I could be confident to say they can end the season number one and stuff like that. But I didn't like how the OG Ducks ended that game. Like, they ended the game like they were defeated and they didn't really want to fight back. Like, and another thing with the OG Ducks, they were running stuff, and all the DEA linebackers front seven was keyed on stopping their running game, so they were shooting gaps. You got Isaiah Patterson. He is 6'2", 200 and something pounds. You can't guard him with a linebacker because he's bigger than them. You can't, safety either. He's going to be either bigger than a DB or faster than a linebacker. And I kept wondering, like, they never really got him involved in the game. The only time he got involved in the game was when Nicholas Ware scored on a tip pass. So I think OG Ducks got a chance to come back, but I don't know the physicality and the way that D-line played for DA with Max Jones and Trey. Like, those guys they just more physical.
And you're talking about Trey and Max Jones, two on our top 100 stellar athletes. They came to our Texas Combine in Rec Shock. Both of them walked away with MVPs, as they do every time they show up to an event. I have yet to see those two get dominated in any capacity, but I would love to see them get challenged. Nonetheless,
and I'm not gonna lie. The Ducks line definitely challenged them, but I don't think that they had the stamina, because those guys like Max. He's at decent tackle. So when you're trying to pull or anything, you got to block down and get somebody on him. Because once he knifes in, that play over. Say good night for that. And you got DEA Neiman Page as the savior back there at linebacker, because he gonna make the plays or run something down. So my only concern with DEA, I say they have to add some type of respectable passing game, or I'm stacking the box and you gotta beat me. But you gotta score on them. You gotta score on them. You gotta have a pass
wins games, my boy.
Exactly. But we want to move on from that game. That was a great game, but DEA has a stranglehold on number one when this all comes out.
Okay. All right. So the next, that was a team spotlight mainly. But let's go. I'm gonna go down here to the bottom and let y'all see a couple of the scores on our live ticker. Right, bam. West Orlando Jags 33 versus Sarasota Seminoles 6. 13U West Philly 21. Staten Island Hurricanes 7. 8U. That's NCC Jags 20 and 215 Falcons 13. We'll come back to that, but you'll see that rolling as the day goes on. But matchup of this week. What matchup this week would you like to start off with? Because we had some big ones this week.
I want to start up with that OG Ducks and Rampage game. Listen, I went to sleep at like 2 a.m. and woke up like 6 excited. Ask Cat. I called Cat. I was like, yo, that was a phenomenal game. He like, what the score was, D? I was like 40-20. He like, that's a blowout, D.
For real. How you gonna talk about 40-20 game?
The score don't tell a story.
Oh, okay. Well, tell us the story, Mr. Narrator.
Let me tell you the story.
Let
I saw
me know
Sam
what the
James.
story is.
Sam James put this funny comment up, and he said, "I knew when I saw Keefe and his Jordans tied up that it was gonna be mean business." I want to tell y'all this. Shout out to the Rampage coaches because it's a lot of teams that get built up off of last year's hype, and they lose a lot of players. You lose a lot of players. Like coaches could be great, but when you lose key pieces, it's a problem. And I think RDU and Rampage are kind of like in the same boat because the OG Ducks inherited Kelton Strickland and Ray Jacobs, who plays right tackle from the Rampage, which were two big key pieces for the Rampage. But the Rampage came out and punched the OG Ducks in the mouth.
Hello.
Like Jaden Jefferson didn't have the best of passing games, but he ran for over 100 yards. I think that Rampage was kind of outmanned to me personally. That's no knock to them. They did a great job of coaching, and they trenches got to it. And DJ Clinton lived up to that top 2 player in the 7th grade. He came off that edge. He had 2 to 3 sacks. He had the biggest catches for his team because he's out there lining up wide, and with that big wide body, he was shielding guys off from the ball. And like I said, Jaden Jefferson made some plays early, and the OG Ducks, the game turned when the OG Ducks inserted Medina in at quarterback.
Okay.
Their starter, he wasn't bad, but I guess halftime adjustments happen. But the one thing that stood out to me for the OG Ducks and Rampage game was shout out to those referees. People may have hated that it was a lot of flags in this game, but I loved it because the referees controlled the game. The referees are in charge of that. That stops brawl. That stops a lot of personal things that go on social media that are chipped about. I love that referee team taking over that game and dialing down some of that testosterone and all the jawing. Like they didn't play about personal fouls. If it looked like a personal foul, they threw a flag. So it was a lot of flags in this game. But Keefe made the right adjustments second half. Shout out to the kids, Sono. Let me see what Keefe gave him. These Polynesian names, man.
What's his name? Give it to me.
Sono Panana. He had a big Afro puff back.
You butchered that one. We apologize. I'm going to apologize right now.
Number 45.
Number 45.
He was a nightmare. And shout out to Sewell at linebacker. He made our X Factor list value 1.
32.
Value 2 and dropped tomorrow.
Number 32.
Sewell, man.
He's been a problem. Last year he wore 55, and he was excessively active on that D line. On the D line coming off the edge. Even when they flexed him out a little bit outside linebacker, he still was very impactful. One thing I love about that kid is he plays with a chip on his shoulder. I don't know if he knows that he's one of the best outside, one of the best defensive players in the nation, but he played like we ranked him at the bottom of the list, and he is mad. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
That boy is aggressive.
Yeah.
And I
ain't gonna lie.
Some people will say that he might be a little bit on the dirty side, but I'm not gonna say that. I'm telling you that the boy plays with a fire, and boy, you better bring it. If you show him any sign of weakness, he coming after you.
And I ain't gonna even lie. Listen, he only made 2 bad plays. He got a personal foul that ended up leading to a touchdown for the Rampage.
That's that aggression.
When they had him on, aggressive. He hit the guy out of bounds. And then another play, Jaden Jefferson isn't that big, so he got in the open field, and it was only him and Sewell. Man, Jaden Jefferson hit that boy with a mean one too.
I ain't talking about him in space having to tackle somebody. I'm talking about
listen, Cat, he had at least 17, 18 tackles. He had 7 to 8 tackles in the first quarter. He's money on the spot.
Tackle machine. Do you hear me? Fear monger on the field. You bet to know where he lining up.
And that game, Rampage kept coming back. Rampage went up 12-6. And OG Ducks end up scoring before the half and going up 14-12. Rampage came back again and went up 20-18 over the Ducks. And
so what was it at the half?
It was 14-12 at the half.
Okay.
And the OG Ducks, matter of fact, it was 18-14 before the half. I'm tripping. It's 18-14, but the Rampage came out and scored and made it 20-18. So they fought back for 3 quarters. But when Medina came in, the Ducks offense, it calmed down. And Kat, tell us about Kelton Strickland. What do you think about Kelton Strickland? Because he came to Northern Hospitality. So tell me the impact of Kelton Strickland, and I'll finish this off.
So this young man, I have heard about all last year. Yourself as well as a couple of my guys from over in the West have been telling me about Mr. Kelton Strickland. I seen footage, but bro, footage don't do him justice. The boy is electrifying. The only thing is you got to get him the ball. I will say this. He had limited touches when we were up in Northern Hospitality, at least for the game that I witnessed. He had limited touches, but the boy made something happen every time he touched the ball. You felt like he was about to score. You know what I mean? So,
I said I wanted Kat to give y'all a breakdown of how gifted this kid is. I remember last year he was telling me he was one of the best. He didn't like where he was ranked, and I was like, "Well, you're going to have to show it to me." And like this year, like he has peripheral vision, like he has a sixth sense for who's around him. He does things that he have to be confident in your ability to do. But I said this to say this: he ended up getting hurt before they even got a second drive because they had him covering the kick, and it was versus old team. Kelton, if you out there, man, I hope it's nothing serious. Get well, young man. Your team was able to overcome your injury because I thought it would probably affect them because of his big playability. But Caleb Bay stepped up. To me, if we talking offensive MVPs, you got to give it to Caleb Bay. Caleb Bay, when they went down 20-18, he came right back with a kickoff and went like 60. Then he shot up the middle for like 49. Like that's Caleb
26.
Bay. Yes, Caleb Bay is like that. But those were the tail of the game, and the OG Ducks end up pulling it off. You know, they closed out the game with the pick 6. You know, Rampage lined up in the wing and tried to fake the run, and Jaden Jefferson dropped back looking for Clinton over the middle. But you know, if you watch Rampage and you do your homework, you probably was prepared for that play. And I'm quite sure the Ducks were, and they picked it off and took it to the house, and that was the icing on the cake to make it 40-20. Phenomenal game. Don't let the score fool you. Rampage is definitely top 3 or 4 in the country because of their trenches alone. I think they need a little more fire, probably at running back or something to help, you know, but it ain't too many teams go play with the OG Ducks like that. So they're in good shape. They still have OC Buckeyes. OC Buckeyes probably the only other team that's going to probably be a problem for them. It ain't too many 14U's that's going to be able to play with the Rampage. So salute to the Rampage team. They lost a lot of talent off their team. But we go ahead to the next game of the week.
Okay. So who you want?
Man, let us start off with that Pittsburgh Elite and Maryland Heat game.
Okay.
12 game.
Okay. Man, Pittsburgh Elite, you talking about with the Mr. Marvelous. The Mr. Marvelous, Chris Black. That's who you talking about.
That's who I'm talking about, man. Mr. Chris Black, man.
What? Tell him what. Hey, tell him what Chris Black done did.
Man, somebody hit me up. They like, hey man, we want another shot at the mob. They slipped away from us. And I'm like, yeah. He was like, yeah, man, because PPE beat them. And I'm like, what? He like, yeah, man. He said, man, the boy Chris Black went off. He had 5 touchdowns. Chris Black won Player of the Week, R&R top Player of the Week. Chris Black single-handedly knocked off the Mob. The Mob only came to the hands of DEA where they didn't look too good, but nobody looks good against DEA defense. Let's be real. It's hard to compare anybody to them unless you're building a team like them. The Maryland, he has a lot of talent, big lot of size, and Terrell Rawlins is their quarterback. Nice size kid. He looks the part. He's probably a better runner than passer right now, but he's developing into a nice passer. And I think the Mob down the line is probably going to be competing for a national championship as well. But the last 2 games they've been playing against 2 of the best running backs in the country. They were able to beat Brick City last week on a controversial call, and they ran into Gabe Kemp.
Hello.
You unlucky if you run into Gabe Kemp and Chris Black on back-to-back weeks.
I'm talking about, bro. That's trouble.
That's trouble. That's trouble. But Chris Black, he's that type of kid that he always gives his team a shot. He's just that talented, just that electric. Listen, by no stretch of imagination did I expect that PPE would beat Maryland Heat. So you can't say I said it. So this is definitely the upset of the week. But when you have a Chris Black, you always in the game.
You say that's your upset of the week?
Upset of the week.
Of the week?
Upset
hey, let me put up the final score real quick. Good Lord. I'm over here slow. There it is. Share. And the final score was 31-26. That's a nail biter, bro. That's a nail biter. And bro had to score 5 times.
5 times. And they weren't getting no extra points.
Obviously.
Extra points, man.
They got 1. 2.
Man, y'all better listen, man. Listen.
They got 1.
You football world.
Hey.
Can we really pay more attention to special teams? I think special teams is falling by the wayside. And like what I'm seeing a lot of, like I get it's a lot of electric players that can change the score of the game with their punt return and kick return abilities. But if you're teaching your kids to stay in the lane and go down there and hustle, you got to let them know it's players like Steve Tasker, Torrey Cox, who is coaching at Chaminade right now, that made they living on special teams. Make special teams important again. I get tired of seeing teams go for it in their own territory.
To be honest, right now it seems like 90% of the teams kick onside kicks and hope to get the ball and really put pressure on their defense more than anything. I mean, field position is a part of the game, right? I mean,
it definitely is, but at the end of the day, it's youth football. You're teaching. It's a development state. Like they want to sit with these kids on signing day and say, I coached them. But did you really coach him playing like you were playing Madden? Like, come on, man. Like, that's all. I want to see clean football and stuff like that. Like, honestly, that's why I love Coach Rod Mack. Coach Rod Mack, man, listen. Coach Mack's staff needs to be a documentary on them. I just said the cameraman put up a highlight where Coach Chop was talking to his O-line and they're at 11, and he was telling his center how to adjust and who to adjust to, and telling his center at 11 years old how to get to the second level. You know how many 13 and 14 use base blocking?
Not many. And the thing is about that team, I mean, excuse me, that coaching staff from top to bottom is just a different feel. When you're around them just shooting, bro, I can tell that this team is different because of the coaching. When you got Coach Mack in the middle of the field, giving his heart to these kids just as much as the next kid is, and so forth. It changes how I looked at other coaches. He was the first one and made me come back home and be like, you ain't coaching. You ain't coaching for real. You know what I'm saying? Him, all of them.
And he's added a veteran like Will Mason. Will Mason is a historian. He's a Gwen Cherry legend. He's won multiple Pop Warner national championships. So Coach Mack has the coaching staff that wants to be behind the scene, that values teaching these kids and developing these kids where they hit high school with transitioning easy because they know the X's and O's, the terminology, and the language, man. That's what it's about.
The kids that came out of his program, especially out of that purple machine, bro, you already know. Them kids that came out of that program right now are doing tremendous things.
Even his goon squad before that, he has touched so many that people don't really know about, and he always brings these people around his team. Like this guy took his team to IMG for a couple of days to experience that. Like that is phenomenal.
I mean, we were out. Where were we? I think I was in Texas or whatnot for the combine, and bro was taking his kids out to Cali and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Giving kids from little old Miami opportunities that they probably never would have had. You know what I'm saying? So shots out to Coach Rod,
man. Developing that mental makeup and showing them what they need and stuff like that. You know, so shout out to that Ravens 11U staff, man. Like it's called a new machine. I guess they named it that. Like they right now we have their game as one of the games of the week, Cat?
We do.
Because I want to get into this Ravens 11U team. And will this Ravens 11U team take the next step? That a lot of people underestimated ABG right now because ABG took a loss to Atlanta Elite preseason, so people were sleeping on ABG, but ABG is missing Joshua Moore, which is probably their best player. But they're going to have to claw to get this championship from the Ravens this year because of how the Ravens are built. They're built for it, especially their defense. They have one of the most phenomenal secondaries for 11U. The problem is they probably can contain a rare breed team offense, but the problem is would they be able to score on that rare breeds team that's so deep and talented? Would a quarterback have a stronger arm enough to make them respect it? Because those are my knocks for them right now. But you got the 9U up there, Cat. But the Ravens 11U beat Gwen Cherry this weekend 24-0, which is a local rivalry in our area. Gwen Cherry came to play, and shout out to LaVarius McGuire. They call him Glock 9. He's the second Glock 9. That's a phenomenal player. But it's rumored that he has an injury and will be out for the season. And we're gonna miss him terribly. We're gonna miss him terribly. We gotta do a get well mix for him or something like that. So Frankie, man, get well soon, man. He's one of the most exciting, one of the fastest kids in the country, and one of the most exciting. But Gwen Cherry added some pieces that put them in this game, and their defense played really solid and kind of contained the Ravens. But the Ravens know how to win any kind of game. I mean, coming off of beating a big team like the OG Ducks 11U. So the Ravens have played some teams this year that definitely put them in the running to possibly break the top 10 or top 7 in national rankings if they win the right games. So the Ravens, they took care of business in this rivalry, and they're definitely a team on the rise.
At the end of the day, they still have to get out of the woods, bro. The FYFL is one of the toughest leagues in the nation. You get what I'm saying? So shoot. I mean, yeah, you
Remember,
can say
Coach just gave them a run with that new kid who playing football. What his name is? Enzo. Oh my God, folks!
from Treasure Coast.
Yep, from Treasure Coast. And Treasure Coast 11U has come out of nowhere in that FYFL league to challenge some teams. They just took an L to Royal Palm Beach, but that kid right there puts them in every game, man. If you ain't seen them, go Google Enzo for Treasure Coast 11U.
I mean, that's one of the teams you talk about. I'm still talking about the man on the hill, ABG. At the end of the day, these are AYF runner-ups. You get what I'm saying? And ABG still is the dog. They got to get knocked off first before I can really crown the Ravens. But at the end of the day, we do see that the Ravens are making strides on both sides.
Listen. I'm giving Ravens. You have your opinion. I have mine. I'm giving the Ravens an inside track to that championship.
Okay.
They're built and constructed.
Hey, at the end of the day, if they meet at the chip, it is what it is. We got push-ups on the line.
Vincent Mosley is definitely one of the
you know what type of push-ups I'm talking about?
Huh?
You know what type of push-ups I'm talking about.
Hey man, the Ravens want their bite back because ABG put them to sleep last year, boy. Did they even score in either game? No, they didn't even score. Like the ABG beat them a combined, what was it? I'm gonna say 31-0 in 2 games. But the Ravens
didn't score at all. I thought they scored one of the games.
They didn't. I was at both.
All right.
Remember, it was 6-0.
See, you add more fuel to my fire.
6-0. Oh, because I'm a realist. You already know I'm gonna keep it real. But I'm just saying, ABG, I ain't judging y'all by preseason, but I ain't gonna even lie. It was definitely an eye-opener when y'all played Atlanta Elite. Y'all was able to fight back in it. And I think y'all sat back and got a little healthy. And I'm quite sure y'all letting that fuel y'all fire for people underestimating them. Don't use me as bulletin board material. No. Don't screen record this and say this to your kids, because I love them kids, but it is what it is. Football is football. We're gonna have our picks.
All right. With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and jump to the next topic. Let's talk about a team. Let's spotlight a team. Right now, I have on the board, still in South Florida, the Lotta Hill Lions, man. 13U, led by Coach Omar Bill out of Florida. Go ahead and talk to him. Tell him a little bit about him.
Listen, I had to really sit back and put things in a perspective. Like Coach Omar Bill, he has been a national fixture since 8U. You know, he knows how to build a team, and I think he epitomized what being a head coach is. Coach Omar Bill, a head coach is somebody that can lead all the troops and put his people in the right place and not afraid to delegate to someone else on his staff and not step on their toes. That's Coach Omar Bill. First of all, last year he went and got Thias Gilroy from the Ravens, and he brought over a couple of players with him. That was a great decision to bring on offensively. So Coach Thias is in his second year with this group of kids and with some additions. Their core team has always been the same. I say this all the time about teams. Like right now, we're living in a microwavable situation in youth football where people want things so instant and they want to get all the best players and think that you can skip the coaching part, the camaraderie, the chemistry, the schemes, the practice that you get in. We pay attention to the teams that add all these players, but you can't have a regular practice like you have your defensive days and these days. But if you got kids from everywhere, then a lot of them are missing out on the things that they need to learn as a team. So those teams that's able to get 5 days of practice in and a whole system are better. This is the Lotta Hill Lions. The Lotta Hill Lions ain't by far the talented team, but they got enough talent in the right spots, and they have the players, the lunch pail guys that's going to get that work done. And right now, the only reason, if I'm doing my rankings and putting them out now, they wouldn't be number one is because you got to unseat the champion. And IB Braves are number one right now because they dominated DEA. And Lotta Hill came back and trumped that win. IB Braves beat DEA 20-0. Lotta Hill beat them 26-0. Lotta Hill has went to Jacksonville and squeaked out a win over the Duval Jags, who happen to be a top 5 team right now. You know, and the Duval Jags are one of the best teams in the country. They went up to Detroit and beat Southfield, who is another top team in the country. Then they went to Texas and beat DEA. They went in your house with your remote and changed your goddamn TV. Lotta Hill Lions are for real, folks. Like, and this kid, Arwen Jackson, he had a 90-yard run against DEA. Right now, if we were doing Player of the Year voting, he would be up by a landslide because, well, he'll be up there.
Say that, man.
He'll be up
early. Too early. Slow down, Big.
Listen,
R1
is different.
Hey, brother, slow down, Biggs. You're gone too far.
Different. And Corey Brown.
Hey, you can't. I can't say enough about Big C, man. One of the most dominant D tackles in all of youth football for several years. This young man, Big C, is everything you want on your team. He is Warren Sapp. Here for real. On the field, and he gonna talk. He gonna talk and talk. He gonna walk his walk for sure. You definitely can rely on number 55.
And I think that Lotta Hill's quarterback has done enough to get so much better where he's making those throws to keep you honest. Then you got Nicholas Lanier, who's making the highlight reels on one-hand catches because he's killing one-hand catches right now. Nicholas Lanier is evolving as a receiver. He's always been a very skilled defensive player. And then we got the man in the middle, Mr. Jacob Smart, number 6, who only has to focus on playing linebacker. And he's been a nightmare for every team that he's played. He's tattooed a couple of guys that felt him. So shout out to Jacob Smart. You don't get a lot of love, but trust me, we see you. We scouting, we evaluating, we watching that film. You're doing your thing. And they got that other kid. I can't remember his name from West Palm Beach. You know who I'm talking about. He's number 3. His name Darius or something like that. I can't remember his name, but he's number 3 for Lotta Hill, and he came from Royal Palm. The kid is electric. He returned the kickoff versus DEA. He's a big play waiting to happen. So that was a great addition for them. So shout out to Coach Omar Bill and what he's doing. And, hey, Coach Omar looking for games too. So if y'all want to lock in with a team that's locked in as the number 2 team in the country, holla at him.
Hey, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it ain't. You hear me? Hey, but for right now, we're gonna go ahead and run our little ad for you. This is our On Our Live intro. This is actually our show that's all about players. Hey, but check it out. Make sure y'all check it out tomorrow. You hear me?
Take off, I gotta catch a play off. They looking at missing A-Wall. My team, we in the playoff. We never take a playoff. This shit like every day, dog. I put in work, see the results, cause hard work it pay off. Say they didn't believe me. I sat back and was scheming. I know I'm underrated, but I'm overachieving. That shit should motivate me. I know this is my season. My blow on any given Sunday, call me Willie Beeman.
Hey, man, drop below if you like it. Drop a fire if you like that song, man. Drop a fire if you like that song. Hey, matter of fact, if you could figure out the name of the song and who it's by, drop it below. I might got something for you. Man, what I got around here? I don't know. I might got a vibe.
Oh, see, I got that light on me now. Boy, I put that.
Oh, that boy! Hey, I can see his face.
Ooh,
I can see his face.
I was dog.
I can see your face.
But
okay, man. I want to jump into my game of the week The game that I went this past weekend to go see in person, up live in action. Everybody in St. Pete knows that is one game you cannot miss, and that's Lakewood versus St. Pete Little Devils. And on the 14U level, the last year, the Lakewood Spartans were ranked in the top 5. I would say as high as number 3 at one point in time. So this year, they expected to have the exact same
success
going into the season, but when you playing against your rival, you already know what time it is. It's always one to watch. But here is a little bit of the game right here for y'all. Let me let it rock.
Man, talk to him. Give me an intro, baby. You know I really like talking. You want who? That's who you want. We want Detroit Buckeyes, OG, OC, all of
them. Bruh.
They love talking,
bruh.
But they don't be coming outside.
Bruh, he said he want OG, he want Detroit Buckeyes, he want OC Buckeyes, he want them all. We're going back to the video.
You want it. I want that for your kids.
Oh yeah, they lit out there. Hey, but y'all,
man, you can tell those local rivalries, man. Those local rivalries be everything, man. Just to see those local rivalries in different areas. I know everybody have them in a city, and those some of the biggest games in the city that you go bring all the fans out.
Bruh, that game was so live though. I'm telling you right now, make sure y'all go right now and subscribe. If you are not subscribed already, subscribe right now. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss nothing that we drop, because we drop all the time.
Yeah, man.
Speaking about dropping, tonight, we will be dropping Duval Jags 13U versus Central VA.
Great game, man.
13U Southern Hospitality Showcase game. That was an epic battle, and that's one of those games you don't get to see because those are teams that usually don't meet up until the end of the season. So what did you get to see that game in person?
Yeah, you remember I came in when Central VA jumped out to a big lead early that it was looking like, oh man, Duval Jags started talking that talk. You don't give people bulletin board. They told Coach Travis McCall told the coach on Central VA, oh, we gonna beat y'all worse than last year. They talked that talk, and Central VA came out and got on their ass.
Got in their ass. Bro, I'm talking about 12-0 early in the game. And I when I got there, I had my guys there. When I got there, the table started to turn. You get what I'm saying? And the difference in that game at the end of the day was a 1-yard run on extra points. You get what I'm saying? I think that in youth football, we don't focus enough on red zone.
Yeah.
Red zone alone. How to get in the chicken box in small parameters.
If you ain't got that ins and out play on the goal line, you ain't doing
front line, back line. You know what I'm saying?
You already know that ins and out with the tight ends. slide
Bro.
up into them backers, and you got the choice. If you bootlegging out or whatever, boom, boom, boom.
Talking about a flood.
We call it ins and outs, sir.
Oh, you just want him to cross up in the middle. That's not no rolling. You want him to choice roll.
That's what we call in our playbook. We call that ins and out. And who taught me that is a legend. So I know he right because you don't get legend status.
I ain't never right. Don't add me nothing. I get you wrong every time.
But for real though, man. But that game was a phenomenal game. And like I said, like Central VA has played a tough schedule this year. So has the Duval Jags. The Duval Jags 13U has went on to win YNC in Alabama. They're doing their thing right now. And another game that I was fortunate enough to watch this week that one of our R&R top 100 sixth graders in the country, Jaheim Brown, who is now part of the Arizona Champions, that 12U game with the IB Braves and the Arizona Champions was a great game this weekend.
Really?
It was a great game this weekend.
I didn't see that one. I didn't know who was on. Who was.
Yeah, those Arizona Sun kids moved over to the Arizona Champions. The twin Hodge Brown and Jaheim Brown.
Yes, sir.
Both those guys are with the Arizona Champions. And you know what's funny about this game? This game is 1-1 because the IB Braves beat them in the Dream Chasers tournament. And it's a kid that plays quarterback for the IB Braves. Let me get his name right quick.
Man, the final score, though. The final score. Let me pull that up for y'all real quick. This one was a nail biter, bro.
Yeah, man. Listen.
Oh, my God.
Jaheim Brown, they did like a fake jet sweep and handed him the ball up the middle, and he hit another gear. Like he was on the fifth gear, like 2 yards into the second. Now he was gone. He left everybody. He's so fast that he's playing a dangerous game. He has on one of those hoodies on the dry fit. I don't know why y'all keep allowing them to wear the hoodie back there because you will.
Man, that's their cake, man.
It's like dreads. So, but he single-handedly beat the IB Braves. But the IB Braves are a new organization, and they're doing good on 11U, 12U, and the 13U. The 12U is definitely a top 10 to 20 team, and they may be better than that as the year goes on. But they have a quarterback named Chase Watkins that is really nice. I really like him. And they have a receiver named Lil P. Jones, Princess. He's a problem. He's a problem. And those guys, they've been one of the top teams on the West Coast. No ifs and buts about it. Like, you know, are they OG Ducks? No, they're not OG Ducks yet, but they're going to be a problem for a lot of people when the season is when to go home.
Okay, with that being said, let's go back to a team spotlight real quick. This team is a team that came to Southern Hospitality and put in work. None other than the Falcons United 13U. I love Mr. McGinnis, the quarterback. He's very precise. I would like to see him open it up a little bit.
That ain't a problem this year. That's not a problem this year. That's not a problem this year. Listen. I didn't want to cut you off, Cat, but
from the game that I seen,
we're talking R&R top 100 quarterbacks. We'll get to that tomorrow on the show more in depth with the players. But I'm gonna leave him alone. I was talking to Cat.
I'm gonna leave him alone. Matter of fact, I'm gonna cut a highlight just for him. Okay, just so, and we're gonna break him down. We're gonna break him down.
That's what we're gonna do tomorrow. Then
we're gonna break him down.
I love Hayes McGinnis, but I always was waiting for him to really put it all together and look like what I think he could be, because he's a phenomenal baseball
I think player. That boy gonna be good. You hear me?
Yeah, no. Listen, this year, he that dude, and his receiving core you gonna have to bring it. They have a big O-line, and now Falcons United have a featured back. Matter of fact, they got 2 of them.
And that's what I'm saying. This year, when I seen him, in the preseason, again, it's only preseason. You get what I'm saying, bro? I seen the running backs. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I forgot.
It's easy for a quarterback to throw in windows when everybody is stacked in the box because you got 2 threats in the backfield.
Man, there's some people who can't even do that
I'm just saying.
Nah, I know
if
exactly
coaching staff is right. If your coaching staff is right, it should be elementary for you.
You're right. You get
what I'm saying is he did his job, but I would like to see them rely on him a little bit more. And to be honest, he has the receiving core to do it.
He probably have the best receiving core in the country.
He has the receiving core.
They got the length, they got the speed, but I ain't gonna lie, that kid Hercules, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for him to take over a game and just throw all day.
Hey, I'm gonna be real with you. At the end of the day, I love the kid and everything, but the tools that's on it, or the weapons that they have at their disposal, is it favors him in several ways. And, but again, I want him to be a little bit more confident about his throw. But last year, I felt he wasn't like he was a little hesitant on some throws. But this year, I didn't get a chance to fully evaluate him like I want to. I'm gonna go back to the footage. We're gonna bust down the footage and really see and talk about him tomorrow though.
And, I really feel like
matter of fact, I'm gonna make sure that game we're gonna bust down that whole game. What's up? You ain't said nothing.
Falcons United, honestly, with Falcons United and what they're doing right now, they're blowing everybody out. The thing that I love about them, like I hear people saying they number one. They can't be number one right now because right now they're making everybody else look average. I mean, we were excited about Progress Village because the first day Progress Village hit somebody in the mouth. I can't remember exactly who it was, but Progress Village hit somebody in the mouth the first day.
Alpha Dogs.
It might have been Alpha Dogs, but they were all over and their defense looked good. And the Falcons United came in and simply dismantled them. The Falcons United averaged 49. Right now, the Falcons United are averaging at least 41 points per game, and nobody has scored on them yet. But.
And running it up like that, my boy still ain't throwing it like that.
Man, hey. And I ain't gonna lie, the Alpha Dogs game, they dropped a lot of passes.
That's real. I'll give you that. I will give you that.
A lot of passes, but what I said to you about the class of 2027 quarterbacks, didn't I say
it's a hard one, boy. That's one of the toughest divisions and toughest positions alone in all of you football right now. For me, that and running back on 14U. Other than that, well, shoot, 9. Nah, not 9U. I ain't even gonna start. Let's not get on 9U because 9U is a whole gauntlet, boy.
Oh yeah, we gonna get on 9U though. We gonna get on 9U because I got some things to say about 9U.
Well, talk about 9U.
Listen, 9U nationally, I'm gonna keep it funky with a lot of y'all because a lot of y'all be talking and y'all don't really be watching football. And I notice y'all take a lot of stuff personal. This stuff ain't personal, bro. This football, and we watch it, and I have my opinion. And I don't think nobody watch more football than me. I don't think nobody looks at it or works hard at it like me. And I'm gonna say this: the SEAL Top 15 rankings is out, ain't out yet. I don't do preseason rankings for the simple fact is I'm an evaluator. I'm an evaluator. I like to sit back and thoroughly do my homework and make sure I'm right. I'm not always right. I'm not arrogant enough to think that I know everything, and I rely on people to tell me certain things and certain things. But me, I rely on me more than anything else because I know somebody's always looking to one up me or tell me I'm wrong. So I pride myself on knowing everything at my disposal. And I'm gonna say this: if we talking, listen, if steel rankings come out right now, Twin City would definitely be the number 1 9. But let me keep it to you funky. Twin City would be number 5 if I rank them based on who I think are the best teams. Simple fact is, Twin City has trouble scoring. They have a good defense, but they have trouble scoring.
Defense wins games.
Huh?
Defense wins games. What you talking about?
Huh?
I said defense win games. What you talking about? If
But
a moment they score, it don't matter.
Your defense got to score though, and they have problems scoring. The only reason they beat Georgia Eagles because Georgia Eagles fumbled inside their own 3. That's
what was the score in that game?
That was 7-6. They just got the extra point. Listen,
bro, I seen that same Georgia Eagles team basically bully Miami Garden Ravens up and down the field, and they controlled the line for a lot of that game, bro. You get what I'm saying? For them to not be able to push them around like that.
No, but listen, that's what I'm saying. Georgia Eagles are a better team than me, even if they lost to Twin City. They are a better team. Their resume is better. They have beaten everybody but Twin City and the Ravens. And when you have somebody like Rod Lewis, you're always in the game. And if y'all, I'm gonna let y'all in on something. Darius Johnson, Bam Johnson is now back with the Ravens, which I think made a difference in some of them teams kind of bullying them inside the trenches. The Duval Jags game and the Ravens game was a phenomenal game. The Duval Jags shows that they're way more than fast athletes. Their coaching philosophy, yeah, y'all see Bam is back, just so y'all know. But their coaching philosophy, the Duval Jags to me right now, if I had to rank number 1, they would be number 1 right now. The Ravens would probably be number 2. It was some controversial calls in that Duval and Ravens game that made that game what it was. You know, the officiating.
Don't leave it in the ref's hands.
Yeah, don't leave it in the ref's hands.
Don't leave it in the ref's hands.
And I have a problem with this too. Y'all stop talking to them refs. Y'all ain't gonna never beat the refs. And that was an issue. Too much crying and talking to the refs, man. Let the game be played, man. The refs go always win, bro. Like you can't get them to change a call. Y'all gotta stop that. That's why you don't see D at the big games, because you ain't gonna look over there and say, D, man, talk to the ref. I don't talk to the ref, bro. That means I'm showing favoritism to somebody. The ref runs that field, whether he's a good ref or a bad ref. But like I said, if I was just doing it based on the best teams, Duval Jazz would be number 1, Ravens would be number 2, and the Eagles will probably be number 3 with the OG Ducks or Twin City behind that. That's just me, because I feel like at the 9U level, you have to have a player that scares everybody. Duval Jags have some players, and they have a passing game. Mac Frazier, I don't see him miss when somebody's wide open. To be that young and so polished and accurate, he's efficient as hell. I like the Duval Jags. I don't know if they go finish strong or whatever. We don't know. But I know those Ravens coming, but
let Glenn tell it.
They the gauntlet in the FYFL. Royal Palm Beach.
Oh, yeah.
Just beat Treasure Coast. Royal Palm Beach is undefeated right now. And they got something. They came to Southern Hospitality, beat McAdenville. And I forgot who else they beat, but they beat McAdenville. They were 2-0 at Southern Hospitality. So that team
Top Gun.
Yeah, they beat Top Gun as well. But they just beat Treasure Coast, who is AYF's D2 champion. The Treasure Coast has only lost to the Ravens and the Duval Jags. And the Ravens game, the Ravens only beat them 6-0. Duval Jags beat them in their first action when it was 19-6. So Treasure Coast is definitely not a pushover. Other 9U teams, the Ducks out of Alabama look really nice. And the Louisville Dolphins, who came to Northern Hospitality, they look really good. But you got to be the big boy, man. And
Hey,
again, Texas.
hold on. Let me talk about that Louisville team real quick.
That Louisville
I
Dolphins team with
yes.
Green, with my kin folks, my distant cousin Green.
Hey, here you go. That number one Green, he is electrifying. The film that he submitted last year got him, earned him a number 2 athlete in the nation spot. But what I seen in person, when they wanted to score, when they needed to score, or because they thought that they needed extra points to get that most dominant play, guess who they called on? Number 1, and it was automatic. You hear me? The boy, he could take a screen, jet sweep, up the gut, and he plays defense. But it's not just him on that team. All right. And number 2, fire. Number 7, fire. Number, I want to say it's a crazy number, like 30. 30. It's a number 30. Fire. They got a little speedy guy. I think he's like number 12. Fire. Bro, in the trenches, they were moving things. So
they're out here testing themselves, and that's what I love about youth football right now. I love that the regions that probably not go get the work to prepare them for national are now getting that work in preseason and things of that nature. That
and another thing, them boys came out dripping, boy. Do you hear me? Boy, I swear. As soon as I see, you know me, I go follow where the hype at. Hey, I seen the uniform from afar. I said, who is them? I had to go over there.
For real.
But,
had to
go. They don't just look flashy, baby. They don't just look good. They play good. For real. Louisville Dolphins, I love you.
Man, and that 9U is really a gauntlet around the country. It's a lot of teams. I know I may have forgot about a couple of teams and things like that, but that's something big too. But one more thing I want to talk about. This not even on our script, but I was just made aware of this. Like I see people talk about the Golden Army. I've watched the Golden Army. The Golden Army definitely has the talent to compete with anybody in the country. They're very exciting. They swagged out. They go state drip. They got some of the most beautiful helmets. And with the collection of talent on that team and that quarterback, Derek Baker, I don't think too many of y'all know about Derek Baker. And when you match him up with somebody like Richard Goodman, if you don't know who Richard Goodman is a very impressive guy that played college ball and was at St. Thomas, and he was a problem, So he had this kid at Lauderdale Lakes that wasn't having the best passing career, but when he got up under coach, he was throwing the laces off the ball. Now he has this kid, Derek Baker, who has the size, the athleticism, along with the array of threats on the outside. Listen, skill-wise, Golden Army could blow everybody out. But check this out. Trenches, baby. Trenches matter on 13U. And that's why you have to go get that work early so you can prepare your line for what it's like to play a top-tier 13U team. And the Golden Army will be playing Miami Garden Ravens Thursday night, Coach Butter. So that would be their first test, and that would let me know if they're ready for the IB Braves, which honestly, the IB Braves 13U is going to be...
Wait. You said Thursday?
Thursday. That's what I was told. Thursday, or maybe it's Friday night, but I know the Golden Army plays Lambeau and Coach Butter, the 4 consecutive national champions that he have, and the Ravens definitely have something. Don't know if they have enough. Don't know if they trenches.
Make sure you remind me. Shouts out to my boy Brutus. Shout out Brutus. Shouts out to my boy DP Media Factory. 9 times out of 10, we coming to get that game. You hear me? Oh man, y'all already know. we have one of the babies from up this way, Mr. Jalen Powell. He was shipped down south, confiscated for the season to one of the better teams in the nation.
Yeah, one of the most exciting teams.
The Golden Army Chiefs from down south. And boy, he is not missing a step. They actually look very, very impressive.
And that's, you know what? That's what a lot of kids need. A lot of kids need that pressure off of them where they don't have to be keyed on. And you really see how talented a kid is. That's why in high school, when some kids who played when they were only the guy and they get to high school and play behind a real line with a quarterback and a receiver, you like, whoa, he's dominant because he don't have to have everything on his back. And it's looking so easy for Jalen Powell when you got Amari Stevens out wide. You could get this kid, Jaquan, who is one of the best DBs in the country and one of the most skilled athletes, just period.
Hey.
Then you got the kid, Yulke Brown's brother, at receiver that he's like 6 feet, look like a tight end, but run like a wide receiver. So the weapons that the Golden Army has, be very scared. But I'm just concerned. I want to know if the line could block and the D line could come when they play somebody they size who have played dogs.
That's always the issue with my guys here in Florida. We got all the athletes.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the trenches, it's hard for you to actually put together a great set of kids. And to be honest, bro, I'm giving another shouts out to that Rod Mack crew. Shouts out to Coach Chop, man.
Yeah.
Year in, year out. Chop Thomas does it. I don't know how he does it.
Listen.
Hey,
Robert
but
Chop
that man
Thomas
right
is
there,
a legend. Before the Golden Army, he was on the Wolfpack.
That man he doesn't just inherit great players. He molds these kids and teaches and develop these young men into something that I ain't trying to get in front of. You hear me?
Man, we gotta give Chops some love. Cause I just my guy, we go back to our Pop Warner days, man. Chop was on the what Liberty City was called with Tutu Atwell and them. I forgot what they were called, but they won 2 consecutive national champions and they were running the country at then. See, we Pop Warner guys at heart, me and Chop Thomas. That's why we know so much about this football nationally. Me and Chop could talk all day. He's a great guy, fun-loving, great guy. Like said, the cameraman has a great video on him from this past weekend. Just listen and see how he's talking to his players and what he's teaching them. His matter of fact, some of Central's pillars at the offensive line played for the Purple Machine, who just beat the Ravens, came through Coach Chop.
Yes,
so shout out to them, man.
Okay, now. All right, man. We're gonna take another little break real quick. And when we get back, Darren will go through a couple more team spotlights, and we'll put him on the hot seat and see what he thinks about that game that's coming up. Who he is picking?
What
for that game? Hey, hold on! Don't tell us now. Hey, but
I ain't gonna tell y'all not, but I might cop out on it.
Hey, and with that being said, run the promo. That boy, now you hell.
Man, Cat, that running back for St. Pete was 5. Oh, there she go.
That's her. That's Miss Get Some.
I'm glad I ain't go there. She probably would have got on me bad then.
Man
There you
to
go.
the bank. That boy huge.
Yeah, she said he been playing 14U since 12.
That boy saying, I ain't trying to get in front of him and I'm 30.
Man, we need to talk about them Detroit, them 4-2 Duggars and them Soda babies and them Ice Vizio wear. You already know, man. Shout out to my Southfield Falcons organization.
Okay.
They one of the biggest supporters.
Hey, this is your team of the week, your team of the week, team spotlight. And we're going to go to the Southfield Falcons, a team that won not one hospitality event, but 2 in 1 year. Just as recently, this team has came to both northern and southern hospitality and walked away with the most dominant award. Hey, shouts out to Coach David Getter. Man, talk about him though, Coach D. I know you know
This
about
Southfield team, honestly, they were shorthanded of probably their best receiver, but being shorthanded of Christian Marshall opened the door for Amir Parker, who was a running back.
Baby, did you say, hey, that fire get loud, don't it?
Or that Amir Parker, who was a running back last year. Listen, a lot of people, I had an issue, right? Atlanta Elite was signed up for my event. They thought they were going to get Northside Pride. Northside Pride had a basketball game tournament because, as y'all know, Trey Man Elite, which is now Northside Pride, my guy TK, he supports anything we do. That's my guy. And he was honest with me. He was like, we have a basketball commitment that week, so we won't make it. So Atlanta Elite, I was like, well, I got Southfield. And they was like, we don't really want to play them. And then it was like, yo, for real? And it's like, at the end of the day, if you do your homework, you know who has the pieces and the goods to make a run and then build that team a certain way. And this team is built in balance. They have a deep backfield. They have a plethora of receivers, and they have 2 number 1 receivers. Christian Marshall is growing, so he's having little leg injuries, but it's not injuries. It's really growing pains. You know how it is when your joints get sore and things like that. Christian Marshall made a phenomenal catch up versus Parker's Village at our event. And the soundbite for that was, you a baby. You my baby. He was like, you a baby. You a baby. He jumped over his head and looked at him and said, you a baby. You know, so Christian Marshall is the little brother of Isaiah Marshall, who just come off a phenomenal game. And Isaiah is more mild-mannered. So when I seen Christian say that, I say, oh, Christian got a little fire in him, and he's a deep talker. But this Southfield team is definitely a top 5 team within talent. And so far, we're basing it on preseason alone. They may have not beat the bigger, sexy teams, but they're definitely equipped and loaded enough to play with anybody. You know, I think the gap between the rare breeds and everybody else is kind of large if we really look at it, if we being honest. But this Southfield team can definitely give any team in that top 5 a game. They're battle tested. They have Austin Mitchell at quarterback, who is a phenomenal quarterback, throwing over 40-some touchdowns. They are handling business, and their defense is very good. And that big 11 they have
number 11
is a problem. He is a problem.
That's why I had to make sure I put him on the thing. The boy bigger than me. He bigger than me. I think he's about 6'4".
Yeah, man, that kid is a beast. And he don't even know how good he is yet. He hasn't even developed the killer instinct yet. He's just playing off of athleticism and talent. But they're definitely coaching him. This is a great bunch of
years old.
Mm-hmm. Great bunch of kids.
6'3", maybe 6'4", and only 11 years old. ATM. Let me touch on ATM real quick, Mr. Austin Mitchell. This man right here, he is a athlete that I love to actually see in person. I actually got to see how he was resilient. He got hit, he got knocked down a couple times, but still got back up and got the ball to his playmakers. He is one of the quarterbacks who is not trying to do extra. He's trying to get it to his playmakers, and that's what I want at the helm of my team. You know what I'm saying? The one thing that I know in high school, when it gets to high school, and you start doing what you want, coach pulling you. You hear me?
For real.
You know what I'm saying?
For real. You ain't gonna do your own with me.
And the thing is that he keeps his eyes downfield. He has great pocket presence, and he feels the pocket really, really well. If he has to get out, he gets out, but he still is looking downfield.
And what I like about him too is his ability to know when to put too much on it and when to let some off. He has a great understanding of the game. He's a student of the game. He works very hard, and it shows up when he plays. Hard work pays out, and that's a true testament to who Austin Mitchell really is.
Hey, Mr. Austin Mitchell, man. You know what? We're gonna break you down to tomorrow with our QB expert. Make sure that y'all come back on tomorrow at 9 p.m. for R&R Live. That we'll be talking about all of our R&R top 100 kids. And to be real with you, let me throw something on you real quick. I'm dropping the All-American preseason 2022 list tomorrow. So if you want to see the All-American list, the preseason All-American list tomorrow, go ahead and jump on tomorrow for R&R Live tomorrow. You hear me? Tomorrow. Hey, man. Where you want to go with it now, brother? Where you want to go with it now?
I want to talk about what are the top 15 rankings in the regionals and the things you need to do to be ranked or be respected. Our hospitality series, we had over 150 teams. When we started doing this, and I started doing this and partnering with my guys, Cat and everybody, we do this we love it, and what we try to give everybody is an outlet, and we try to treat every kid the same and not just focus on one market and saturate the market with one market, with one fan base of one region. We try to get to regions of kids that we haven't met and kids that don't get featured a lot. I think it was great for us to get out the Northern and see teams we really haven't seen. Teams like RMG Elite, who came out there with the kid legacy. He may get featured a lot, but they're a really good team. Preseason they went head to head with Atlanta Elite, and that kid basically carried them and willed them into a tight matchup with Atlanta Elite. And Atlanta Elite is a top 3 or 4 team at the 11U and has a phenomenal resume going forward. But the SEAL rankings were made to be youth football rankings. We're a media, so we have no entity that pressures us into favoring anybody. I don't favor anybody. I don't try to favor anybody, and I try to give everybody a fair shot. So when you see our rankings, they're a media poll. So this year, I want to crown our own SEAL national champions because we show love to every league. It don't matter who it is. We're all about the youth and everything to do with players and teams, coaches, content, videos, all that. If you want to be considered for rankings, you got to get out and play people. Some teams do get ranked that really aren't playing people. They get ranked because they look that good and we did enough homework and we think that they could take that next step or upset somebody. So yeah, teams who really don't play nobody gets a shot at being ranked being ranked depending on what age group they're in.
Especially if we have insight on their players,
exactly,
and etc. at the end of the day, we know what we've seen. That's why we do rankings. You get what I'm saying? But a team is still a team. You know what I mean? We still got to see y'all play. So y'all might get some credit because of your athletes that you have, but at the end of the day, you got to line it up. You got to show up to the dance to actually say that you had a dance with the prettiest girl, golly. So
and strength of schedule definitely matters, folks. Like strength of schedule and region definitely matters. Like a lot of people, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like we go to different regions. I've been to Seattle this year. I had teams from Cali come to my event. And I pay attention to everywhere else. So we fly around the country in different places and check things. So a lot of regions, you probably not gonna get as much credit coming out of certain regions if you haven't come to the SEC country and tested yourself, or even Texas or Cali or somewhere, a major market, or even a DMV. You know, like it's something to be said to come out of certain regions. In certain regions, you could come out with 2 to 3 losses because we know if we place this team in another region, they will probably steamroll everybody. You know, so that definitely matters. And regional rankings were also created. I created regional rankings to give more teams shot and to show more love to teams that can't travel, that are probably the man in their neighborhood or their area. So regional rankings was a chance to give more teams love and cover more kids, because like I say, when we cover the teams, they come to the kids and are in our top 100. And we also got QB1 coming, where we're going to start featuring the top quarterbacks, which we've been doing. We just separating everything right now.
yes, sir. So the next thing that we have, just a couple of announcements real quick. A couple of announcements real quick. The 2021 Top 100 watch list is coming at you. That is not this weekend, but next weekend, we're going to say Labor Day. Labor Day, keep your head on a swivel. And hey, will you make the list or will you not? Hey, at the end of the day, did you do your due diligence? Did you show up and prove yourself in front of our scouts? Did you put in your form? Did you get evaluated because you had film and filled out your entire form? At the end of the day, we can't do what we do if you don't do what we ask of you. And when I show up, all I ask is that you ball, make a highlight, or get put on one. That is the only rule that we got. Hello.
And one shout out to those Playmakers Elite 7U team who went over to Cali and dominated the LA Chiefs and Mobile Falcons. They were the most dominant in Northern Hospitality, where they gutted out a couple of wins versus Southfield and the Trojan Black team. Shout out to the Trojan Black organization as well. They have a solid 10U. They 9U is definitely swaggy, and they did a lot of great things at Northern Hospitality, and also the Saw Boys, CBE, you know, and shout out to Harbor Area Pilots for coming to support Northern Hospitality. They came out 1-1, knocking off Ginn Elite and taking a loss to Southfield. And their kicker, don't know what their kicker name is, but once I get a picture of stuff, we go knock it out, because they beat Ginn Elite with 3 field goals, and that kid was money. So he's definitely first team All-American, R&R top 100 All-American. No ifs and buts about it.
All right, y'all. This is a section of the show that I like to call Ask Darian. Hey, go to the comments right now. Drop it below. I got one more announcement for you, then I will start reading the comments for you guys. And make sure y'all got some good questions in here. If you don't have a good question, I'm not reading it. All right. Post questions. Post questions. If give a shout out to your kid, whatever. Give a shout out to your team.
Hey, Cat.
Get active with us, all right? But ask Darren a question and give him a good one.
Cat, I have tell Cat something. Session. Cat, the kid, Yoshi Blend's son. Yeah.
Oh, big dog.
Okay, yeah, he's a top 100 top player.
Yes.
Shout out to him. They just added him to that Orlando Outlaws 8U team that happens to be one of the top 2-3 8Us in the country. With Brody and Brandon Jonah. They just added him and hit me up. I can't remember the kid's name, but you can probably tell me that. But shout out to that kid. He's going to be a great asset to that team in the long run when they're making their championship run. And
Raiden Campos.
And
Raiden Campos tomorrow, is now outlaw.
Yeah. Tomorrow at 8, we're dropping that X Factor Volume 2, folks. That will be dropping tomorrow. And we also got our QB1 feature dropping some of the top quarterbacks in preseason. And we want to talk about who has the inside on the top 100's number one quarterback spot. Right now, Tristan Sabb from last year was number 1, but Trent Seaborn has had some action against the top 5 team, Bruford Wolves, and he didn't do bad. He was 7-12, 77 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. That's as an 8th grader on this Thompson team that is an Alabama power and the number 1 team in Alabama. So shout out to Trent Seaborn, who's having who is stood in the paint under pressure in varsity football.
All right, let's go to the comments. Somebody said Mr. 3 times, giving a shout out to Jeremiah, big Jeremiah. Hey, here you go again. That boy Jeremiah won the Heisman down here 3 times.
Yeah, man. He's a problem, man. Picking up what ahead of steam, man. There ain't too many people want to step in front of that train.
Okay. Up next, TNS 20 to Oak Cliff Titan 0. That's on the 9.
Yeah, TNS and RCU. Those are big time programs in Texas, man. Me and Cat going to Texas. Cat, man, when are we going to Texas?
I don't know. I need to know when it's a big game in Texas for us to actually show up. I ain't about to take that trip, man. I don't need to take that trip. You know what I mean? I need to find a team that I really. Hey, you know the playing tickets ain't cheap right now, boy.
Hey, Cat, let me ask you.
Ain't cheap.
Can we ask them this, Cat? Put that on there. Who they think is what age? What is the biggest gap between 1 and 2 in national rankings right now? Who is far and away better than the number 2 team in the country? Is it the Central DeKalb Jaguars with them fly old uniforms they got in Coach Howard? Or is it the Rare Breeds? Who has the biggest gap?
The widest, what you want to call that? The widest? Which division has the widest?
What is the biggest gap between 1 and 2 age group? Between the number 1 ranked team and the number 2 ranked team? Nah, just put who will run away with their who will run away with the national championship.
See how he do me? See how he do me? Got me over here tight, right? Like I'm his secretary or something. What is over there? What division has the
though, man? Because I want to know personally what people think about that, and I don't know. I think Central DeKalb has a bigger gap, man, because the 10U division isn't that deep. Like, and any team that has a second O-line, that's a cheat code, man. That ain't even fair, man. That ain't fair, Coach Howard. I don't care. You got 2 O-lines.
Which division do you think has the biggest gap between number 1 and number 2? Meaning, which one do you think has competition-wise, like talent-wise, I guess? Number 1 to number 2, like the drop-off is that big of a deal.
Yeah, who would get knocked off first? The 10U
get knocked off first?
Because
Okay,
I honestly, I think 10 to me, 10 you like Coach Howard like cruising, man. Listen, if you ain't got your big boy pants on, don't show up to play Coach Howard, them man. Them boys get down and dirty and in the dirt. You know, Rare Breeds are definitely impressive, but
let's go
it's
through the
teams with some smoke.
let's go through the comments while they warm up them answers. Right now I got somebody from Facebook said they like the IB Braves. We played them in the Dream Chasers tournament. I'm not exactly sure who you play for or whatever, but that would have been nice to know.
Brick City beat IB Braves because
they say we gotta come record the Orlando Outlaws 14U, top team in Orlando right now. On the 14U level, I will say that I kind of concur. There is not that much smoke over in Orlando to me that I've seen as yet. I lied.
I honestly think
I call myself in a lie. I call myself in a lie right there. I call myself in a lie. Pine Hills Trojans is the real deal. Another thing, Apopka Blue Darters, 14U. They look really good in preseason at the Feed the Homeless Classic. Shout out to AUG. They look really good. So to say that the Orlando Outlaws is the only 14U team, I mean the top 14U team, I can't really say. But the rankings is coming out shortly. Make sure that y'all still keep your head on a swivel. Hello. On to the next one. Deshaun Moore is the second. FU winning nationals. They the real deal. You hear him. Back to Jeremiah Booman. Outlaws 14. You beat Tampa Wolverines 36-12. To be honest, I want to say that was the West Orlando Jags beat them like 30-0. But don't quote me, man. Go watch the video. You know what to do. Hey, was at Cypress last year. Baker. Oh, is this Mr. Baker? Hey, Baker. Drop down below, man.
Listen, I'm very high on Baker. I'm definitely featuring Baker. I think he's in store for a historic year under the Coach Rich. Coach Rich got that offense humming. Like,
all right. So Derek, last year, I personally didn't get to see him in person, but I'm telling you this now. I am making it my duty to go and see this young man. You hear me? I asked the other day, Jalen Powell on a live, not a live, a vlog the other day at West Orlando versus the Wolverines, and the first person out of his mouth when I asked him who was his favorite new teammate, he said Derek Baker. First thing out of his mouth. And that, to me, lets me know that this kid is a high character kid as well, as well as a baller. You know what I mean? A good teammate, one who probably welcome baby boy in with open arms type deal. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm from Miami.
The quarterback, and see those leadership qualities lets you know how even greater he is if he's bringing in a new guy. And your quarterback is your guy that gives you that comfort, that's going to lead the offense and tell you where you need to get. Because coming from that distance that he's coming from, he needs a teammate to coach him on the field. That way, when he want to get in and he don't too much know it, he go tell him. And coaches sometimes when you don't know it, your ass ain't getting in. Oh, you don't know to play? Hey, stand over here till you learn it.
Hello, hey, but hey. Let's keep it moving. Hey, what's up, Rudy? Rudy said, what's up, fellas? All right.
My Gainesville people.
All right. D says the game this weekend finna be turned. He didn't tell us what game.
Tell us what
there
game.
There it is. HCC versus Saints.
Who is HCC?
I
Hines
think
City?
that's Highland County, Highland Hillsborough County. I don't know. I don't
Man,
know.
y'all gotta like, break that down for
Man,
so we
for
know
real.
exactly. Like, I don't know the initials.
Hey, Deshaun Morris, come back. We've been calling for MGR11U. They won't budge.
They can't play outside their league during the year or something like that. I know it's something
the
like
league
that,
done started now.
but I don't think that I don't know. Rod is strategic, so he probably don't feel like he ready. Y'all wanna beat people like a Piata and take their confidence early.
Hey, don't say
Finish
that.
him.
Don't say that. Don't say he ain't ready.
Get over here.
Don't say that. My boy always ready. You feel me? He just gotta get his kids ready.
Yeah, for real. You ain't lie, boy. Listen.
Hey, my boy, I put him on the line right now. He gonna talk his talk. You hear me? He gonna talk his shit.
For real.
All right.
But DeMarcus Flanagan, he's doing a phenomenal job up there, man. Like for real, to have that collection of talent and get them to play on one accord, like he's coaching up there. Like, I don't put him in those categories of teams that's just loading up on talent and only practicing sometime. You can tell that teams practice a lot and executes, and they push each other every day in practice. That's why it's hard. It's gonna be hard to beat those guys. But I ain't gonna lie, it's some intriguing teams like Trey Man Elite lost the Atlanta Elite, which Atlanta Elite is probably playing some of the best ball. That Atlanta area and that 11U, two of those teams are playing some of the best ball. Shout out to Bessemer 7U. They looking like the number one team. Ain't gonna be ranked number one, but they can be ranked number one. Shout out to Bessemer.
Hey, all right, on to the next one. Young Moolah 87 says, where would Southfield rank? I don't see them in the top 8. Then he goes on. Rare Breeds, SED, TME, Atlanta Elite, RCU, GBT, etc. Do you concur?
Young, I don't concur that. Listen, RCU, I love RCU. They big and all, but they playbook ain't complex at all. They're easy to prepare for. GBT, haven't seen too much of them. Oh, matter of fact, I definitely seen them against Air Academy. Listen, to me, GBT will get the edge right now based on last year. So I probably slide them in front of them, but I definitely want to put RCU in front of them. If we're basing things on this year alone and not last year, I can see them in front of a couple of them teams. And I wouldn't put TME in front of Atlanta Elite either. Right. So I think Southfield could play with any of those teams that you named. I think Rare's probably too much for a lot of teams because they have a lot of depth, but I think, to me, when you look at Rare, the only problem that I think that would be presented for them, me personally, if I played Rare, I would always blitz their quarterback, and I would definitely tell my guys to always keep their hands up. Their quarterback isn't the biggest, so you got to use his height against him. But I definitely see them in that same category.
Let's keep it rolling. Hey, shout out to Gwinnett Top Guns. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all in the building.
Swagged out. Gwinnett has some of the best uniforms this year.
Man, the best helmets. Did you see that paint job?
Yeah, man. That's unique, man. Shout out to Gwinnett. They playing some really good football. They took a tough loss, but I'm quite sure they're in Atlanta, so they'll bounce back from that, because a lot of teams in Atlanta take lumps, but they always there at the end. So shout out to Gwinnett, who won the YNC Alabama.
I got a good one here for you, bro. I got a good one. Darren Green, what's your thoughts on Columbia Knights 10U? Do you think we have a good chance to win the 10U AYF title?
I think you have a chance to make it to nationals on the 10U level coming out your region. I definitely think that far as 10U, what 10Us would be in your way? You know what?
Let's come back.
I think you have a chance to compete for it. To win it, it's too early for me to know that exactly, because honestly, right now, you guys, honestly, you should have got a most dominant plaque as well because you guys knocked off Watkins, and Watkins turned off and knocked out Blackhawks, and Watkins turned around and lost to the Wade boys. So I definitely think you guys are definitely talented enough, and you went out there and played the number one team in the country only to 21 zip. So you're battle tested. And if you know how to adapt and adjust, I definitely think you guys have a shot at winning that title. Shout out to South Carolina and the Columbia Knights organization. They supported Southern Hospitality and they've been supporting, putting their kids on a big stage, man. Salute to you guys.
Shouts out to Mr. Brandon. Shouts out to Coach Keezel Thomas. Shouts out to y'all already know. We out here. On to the next though. Mr. Troy Brown Jr., another monster on the line for the AAU Orlando Outlaws. Bro, that Orlando AAU Outlaws is crazy dynamic, crazy talented. And to be honest, one of my favorite players on that team is hurt right now. You know what I'm saying?
Who hurt? Brandon Joyner?
Yes, Mr. Joyner.
That kid right there. They wouldn't have beat Red Breeze without that kid. That kid right there is one of the best players in the country. He's a natural. He's so instinctive defensively. He's very advanced. Love that kid, man. And shout out to Brody as well. Brody is a problem. And
I was just about to say, hey, we not gonna talk about the one. No one. I mean, without the two. You feel me? Like you can't can't talk with the two without the one. You know what I'm saying? Hey. That young man, Brody, aka Box Office, aka Showtime, is the real deal. I'm gonna tell you this now.
I want to see them versus Red Breeze again.
I'm gonna apologize to you now, Brody. I seen you in person. I did not get a chance to rank you at 7U. Because to be honest, I didn't even think we was doing 7U, and you were playing 8U. So I apologize. And guess what? You were balling on 8U, baby. Oh, so yeah, but you deserve to be ranked. Don't worry. I got you. Remember that. All right? Hey. But on to the next. Speaking of the devil, Coach Keezel Thomas say when we coming to South Carolina. I don't know when we come to South Carolina. I know I got to go to North Carolina this year.
Hey, Keezel, man, listen. I'm a chef, so when I come to South Carolina, I need to see that whole hog guy that I've been watching on the food channels. So I definitely be in South Carolina because I seen him with the mop on that whole hog, and he was whipping that thing. Ooh.
Hey. So we're going back to this real quick. The question that you stated was, which division has the biggest gap between number 1 and number 2? And we have a couple of answers to that question.
They're probably going to say Voodoo. I bet on 8U.
Coach Keezel Thomas says he votes 10U. Lambeau is by far the better team, biggest gap.
I told you
on 10U level. So they're saying that's the biggest gap division. Mr. Young Mula agrees with him on that 10U level. Okay. Let's keep on going with the comments though. The Fishhawk Spartans 12U versus.
Oh, I like them. They gave the TMT team. Matter of fact, they went 1-1 versus TMT.
TME?
TMT, the Fort Lauderdale Hurricanes 12U.
Oh.
Yeah, shout out to Fishhawk Spartans. We got to show y'all some more love too.
Fishhawk Spartans have one of our QB1 shootout winners in Mr. Daniel Terry. This young man is a young man that I've been seeing since he was probably 9 years old, been able to scout him. And every year the kid gets better. but to be able to see his footwork in person at the combine, the Top Dog combine, which he actually was a finalist for. His footwork was tremendous, man. And all of the mechanics being put together, and now to be able to see it being put to use and actually translating onto the field. Bro, I'm beyond proud of you, baby boy. Make sure, Mr. Daniel Terry, if you don't know who Daniel Terry is, y'all better go look him up now. You hear me? All right, on to the next. Yeah, he said 10U was easy, biggest gap. On to the next. Fish Hawk Spartans top 10 12U team. We gonna talk about that, but I'm not gonna lie. We need to see y'all a lot more. We need to see a lot more of y'all. Y'all did not come out.
That resume, man. Like I like that you played with TMT early. That's definitely a resume builder. But 12U nationally is hard. Like Florida is definite, regional is probably definitely, but 12U nationally is gonna be hard to crack. But it depends on how everything shakes out after the evaluations. I'm doing evaluations this week actually to make sure we have that top 15 national unveiling very soon, and you guys go get to see that. And it's unbiased.
Okay, let's go on to the next comment. From Deshaun Morris. D, do you believe in moral victories? Let's say rare 11, you beat a team 40-14. How do you feel if that team brag about at least they scored type stuff?
I don't know. I almost don't count, bro. Like 40-14. I can't.
I still, man. That's a.
I'm mad as hell right now that I'm looking at the score and I ain't even a coach.
Bro,
like how is that? Like,
bro,
I don't see no. I can see if it was 20-14, but like what you scored against like the
peons, the second scrub, the third
string. It ain't none of them on there. It ain't no Timmy on that team.
Third string,
there ain't no Timmy on that team.
No Timmys.
No Timmy's on
that.
Man,
it's a Timmy on that team, man. You can't lie.
Hey,
listen, on every team.
We
bro, I don't care what you talk about. On every team, there's a Timmy. And if you don't know who the Timmy is on your team,
if Timmy them people don't got that mucho dinero, it ain't no Timmy on that team.
Hey, let me just tell you, if you don't know who the Timmy on your team, guess what? It's you.
Like how do you feel good about 40-14? Like it ain't no way to feel good about that.
I don't feel good at all. I don't feel good at all. Hey, shouts out to my boy Robert EF in the building. Man, make sure y'all go subscribe to my boy Robert EF. That's on
Play Action TV, man. He be having some dope games.
Play Action TV. Robert EF on Facebook, but Play Action TV.
We gonna have him on the show too. We definitely gonna have him on.
Hey, don't worry, we gonna have a crossover show soon. You know what I mean? Something like this. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, hello. Hey, he went that away. Okay, on to the next. What's the programs in the country? A lot of great teams in the country, not a lot of great programs. So we're talking about organizations in a whole. Ooh, baby, I love that.
Listen. Shout out to the SED Wolverines program as a whole. That's definitely a great program. Shout out to RCU, which is a great program. And in Florida right now, that when you say that train, it could be Duval or West Orlando. Them boys swagged out. They playing. Right. But Duval Jags right now, they have a leg up on the West Orlando because they've been doing it probably a year or two longer. But that Duval Jags program from top to bottom they ain't got no poop-putt teams. Like, you got to bring it, you know. So that's a great organization. Southfield as well. Of course, the OG Ducks.
Miami Gardens Ravens, boy. You
Miami
fool?
Garden Ravens.
You want me to slap you?
Definitely. And Lauderdale Lakes did an awesome job last year as well.
They did decent. They did decent, but I wouldn't say on the same level as those other teams' track record. And I will say I gotta give my boys a shout out again. I gotta give my boys a shout out again. West Orlando. I am beyond proud of y'all boys, man. Coach KJ, Coach Marcus, Coach Craig. I'm gonna tell you right now. I used to question Craig. I used to question everything about Craig. And Craig made me a believer. Hey, and I'm not gonna lie. Scooter, you the man. You hear me? Hey, y'all don't know these people, but don't worry. I will have them on the show soon to talk to y'all. And y'all gonna get to know the West Orlando Jags up close and personal. Y'all already know. Hey, shouts out to Coach Nick Collins. Huge double OG salute to Coach Devin Hester. Hey,
oh yeah. Forget all that. Shout out to the West Orlando Jags, 9U, who has only lost one game, and they have a pretty impressive resume. Matter of fact, that Royal Palm team only lost is to West Orlando, and West Orlando has knocked off Grade A Elite in a tough matchup and ranked up. So that West Orlando 9U is making just as much noise as their 12U. Shout out to them. And,
hello.
One more Jag we want to talk about.
Enough for them. Hey,
no, Tampa Jags.
I was just about to say, Coach Duke is back, baby. You hear me? Coach Duke is back. I seen him this weekend, man. I was so happy to see that man. That man don't even know, bro. Coach Duke is one of I hold Coach Duke to another standard because he was one of the coaches to one of our very first, me and Ty's very first collab video, Tampa Jags versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And boy, that game was everything. You hear me? But that's what set off all of this. And thank you for being a part of that, Coach Duke. We love you, man. We always support you. Anything you need, all you got to do is reach out. Salute, baby.
But Coach Griggers, he's like the OC over at the Tampa Jags, 10U, and that team is definitely quietly making noise, led by Noah Griggers and Blaze, and they have the human joystick with them. So they have two of the most exciting young running backs and athletes in the country, with probably the premier quarterback, Noah Griggers, who looks phenomenal right now over there. He looks kind of funny in 4, but that boy balling. They undefeated as well. So
Noah is one of my favorites, and just to see how he's developed over the years. This young man is not just an athlete; he is really perfecting his craft at the quarterback position. And I am beyond proud of the leaps and bounds he's taken in the last couple of months. I've seen his drop back from the first time to now. And, bro, yeah. I love it, man. I love the progress.
He's a student of the game, man.
He loves football. Quarterback. He loves football. Another thing is, with Noah, we're going to leave that for tomorrow because we supposed to be on team stuff. Let me get back to this over here. Hello. Hey, big shout out to my boy Gabe in the building. You know,
highlight film, boy.
Hey, Gabe, can we please get a highlight? Can I get a highlight?
I need a highlight, man. Tomorrow. Can I get a highlight, man? Because like you've been going berserk. And
listen, going crazy, man.
Gabe is doing something. I talked to his dad. He is doing something outside of football because he's an honor roll student. They're doing something where he's doing his homework on live with other kids and motivating them to do the same because he's a great young man. Great young man. Mental makeup is everything with these young kids, man. And Gabe has it all around. And I love how he carries himself. Like he don't get too up. He don't get his play is wild as he's gonna get, and that's crazy. That boy is a human highlight film, man.
Hey, I want to do something. I want to create a segment of the show that we want to call Hometown Hero. Okay. This is somebody who is a hero to you, that is personally to you, meaning your team, your family, or you could be a team mom, just giving recognition to somebody who really deserves it, who usually doesn't get celebrated. Okay? Email us at rnrsportsmedia@gmail.com your submissions for Hometown Hero, and I'll go through them, man. I'll go through them. All right.
These shows ain't gonna do nothing but get better, especially when we add the rankings and everything else.
Hey, Big Troy Brown Jr. says Bray been going crazy. Hey, we know this. Hello.
Hey, Tuck problems too. Yeah.
Tuck.
Is that 16?
No, 16 is Abdullah. That's Caden Abdullah. But Tuck is another athlete.
0.
I don't know. I think he has 0 this year. Last year he had
like
81 or something.
With them little blonde dreads?
Oh, yes, that's him.
He the deal. Yeah, he's definitely
Tuck's like that. He's a kid that came from New Jersey. He actually, when he was up in Delaware 2 years ago, he won a MVP, a top 100 MVP, and then all of a sudden he was down here in South Florida. I understand how he got to Central Florida.
Now don't do that.
All right, here you go. Now. you better act right, like I ain't from South Florida, boy. Hey, I'll start sticking on you right now, boy.
Hello.
Hey, you know who in here get you some business?
Oh my God.
Hey, mama, you know you be going ham on my boys.
Hey, what Piccolo
say? Going ham on me too, though.
I got my blockers on.
I'm riding because I'm in my zone. You gotta put on the race off. You gotta put on the race off. Hey, mama, you know we love you. You hear me? But she says, tapping in from St. Pete. Thanks for your coverage Saturday. Hey, mama, you already know. I had to get you on the video, and every time you gonna give me exactly what I need.
I want to tell her thank you for always fighting for your son. We love that.
Hey,
you know, we love that, and he was definitely worth seeing, and you were absolutely right.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. The one thing that Mank didn't get his recognition last year on Top 100. The issue was the man didn't. I don't recall seeing a submission form from him. At the end of the day, I seen that kid in person last year. All right, and to be real with you, from his physique alone, I thought the boy was in 9th grade last year. You get what I'm saying? So you need. I don't know that information without that form. So if you're watching this right now, you don't have your form in, make sure you go fill out your form. The link is in our group. That's the R&R Top 100 national group. Make sure you get in the group. If you're not in the group, that's on Facebook right now. All right. The link is in the group. Go to the group. All right. On to the next. Make sure you fill out your form. Do your due diligence, as my boy said.
For real, because y'all be working too hard. Put y'all in the system.
Hey, as my boy, what is that name? Good Lord.
I don't see it.
Man, Wayne said too. Do your due diligence. You hear me?
What we got next?
I'm telling you now, you bringing that national title to Florida. That's rating right there. Mr. Campos. We was just talking about him. Hey, the big bully himself. You hear me? The trench monster. What else you want to call him? The boogeyman.
I ain't gonna even hold y'all, man. Listen,
hold it.
you gotta make me a believer, man, because honestly, them Atlanta teams have been dominating baby ball.
Oh no! Hey, hold on.
Make me a believer. Don't
you can talk about that, but baby boy, when I'm talking about this young boy right here, this young boy, you see, hold on, right there, this young boy right here, 2-3.
I seen what he did with Lotta Hill.
Real deal,
you know?
huh?
I seen him at the combine. I seen he made little baby.
Beating up on 10U kids. And how old he is? Yeah, he was beating up on 10U kids. So don't act like you ain't seen it in person.
Listen. All I'm saying is the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. To somebody unsees Atlanta, they are where the championship goes through.
You're right.
And not just that, SCD 8U is looking really good as well this year. I'm gonna do a little more homework on the younger age groups. And shout out to Bessemer 11U, my boy Buck Lee, man. He been doing it nationally for a couple of years.
Hey, shout out to Northeast Rattlers. They are in
that's
the house.
That's where JoJo come from, ain't it?
No.
Yeah, JoJo come from the Rattlers, man.
No, he comes from another Rattlers.
Oh, okay. My bad.
He came from the Fair Oak Rattlers. They're not around.
Oh, yeah, Fair Oak. That's who it is. Thank you.
Fair Oak Rattlers. Karen Reno also says, shout out to On Sports. We appreciate you, mama. Appreciate y'all for giving us y'all support. Y'all already know Tuck is number 0. Thank you for the clarification.
Boy, that boy got good feet too, boy.
Yes, he does. He's still a baby, and I definitely will. Hey, that's the thing. I don't know. Bro, to be real, I'm gonna tell you this. That kid, that number 26, was a 7th grader last year.
Wow, he would have definitely been.
He would have been top 20 at least for sure.
Yeah, and he was playing 14U. She said
he was playing 14U
since 12.
Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you gotta put in your paperwork. All right. He need to be with the Outlook if he want the AU to come to Florida. He is on the same team. Stop playing. Y'all don't even know who on your own team. Golly. They always just like talking. Ooh. He is on your team. That's what we talking about.
You on your team, homie.
What you smoking?
What we got next, bro?
Hey, man. But that is our show. That is our show for the day. That is our show.
Oh, hold on. One more thing. Lotta Hill and FU 13U plays September 17th.
September 17th. Hey, matter of fact, I forgot. I'm supposed to put you on the hot spot. Hey. So who you got in this game coming up this Thursday, baby? Who you got in this game?
Nah, you ain't finna get people to not invite me to the game and got me not coming on their sideline.
All right, at least.
You know these guys. Listen, y'all talk about the team personal, man.
Talk about the team. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all make it so difficult for us to come on here and talk about one kid, because as soon as we talk about one kid, all of a sudden we're slighting your kid because we're not giving him credit. At the end of the day, credit is never given; it's always earned. So, at the end of the day, try harder.
Listen. The Golden Army has played people who haven't hit them back. They definitely beat PPO in the scrimmage. So that was some good work for them. But Coach Butter is a offensive guru. He's a living legend. He's a living legend. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Hey. Tell him how much championships he got, boss.
My boy got 4 in a row. He got 4.
How many? How many balls?
I'm talking about natties. Natties, baby.
Hey, I'm talking about nationals, boss.
In the country last year. And guess what? He got Golden Army's old quarterback. And they got a number 1 at receiver. Who that boy go up there and get that thing? Up top chicken box. He has a little small running back. And he has some receivers this year. I was talking to Coach Butter. He was talking to me because he was optimistic about traveling. And I'm finna give y'all some bulletin board material, okay?
Oh Lord.
So I'm talking to Coach Butter, and I'm like, Butter, what y'all got? So he calling me like, man, you don't know nobody want to play running back. Like, I need the running back, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I see who who looking to play for a great coach. So, I reached out there and I'm like, and then I watched them play. And I was like, Coach, why you was talking to me like you ain't had nothing? I'm like, bro, y'all got some fire. He like, nah, man, we ain't right where we want to be. I say, man, but the Golden Army done loaded up. And he like, Coach, they ain't gonna beat me, Coach. They ain't gonna beat me, Coach. I say, Coach, they got they got a lot of their legs players and a couple of Fort Myers players, plus what they got. He said, Coach, look at me, Coach. Coach, what I said, they not gonna beat me, Coach. He said, you want to know why they ain't gonna beat me, Coach? I said, why, Coach, brother? He said, coaching. They'll never out-coach me. So do I want to go with the hardware or do I want to go with the potential? What y'all going with?
Oh, man, that's going to be a good one. I'm going to make sure that we create that graphic. That game is going to come to you. Hey, man, I might even go live with that game. I'll let y'all know exactly what we're doing later on this week. But make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow is Arnold live at 9 p.m. Make sure you tune in.
We talking players tomorrow, man.
Players, all about the players. You hear me?
And we gonna drop that. We gonna drop that X Factor Volume 2 tomorrow. It's gonna be
X Factor Volume 2. We gonna drop. I was gonna drop the All-American list tomorrow, but I might just do that Thursday. We might drop that Thursday on Football Heads. You hear me? So make sure y'all tune in tomorrow and make sure y'all tune in Thursday. Stay live, stay active. Y'all already know what it is. Your boys are out, baby.
Look what they putting on me when I was only doing all this shit to see that we gon' eat. Guess I was wrong for trying to see it with my homies. I'm feeling wrong cause now I jib by my lonely. I'm by my lonely, just getting moany. I'm putting on but see somebody say I'm phony. The love is gone and now somebody hating on me. Hurt the most when it's somebody that should know me. It's kinda wild to me. We was friends, now they can't get a smile from me. I gave her inch, they took so many miles from me. Without me mentioning how many miles I feed.